Okay, as I was walking through the archive down here, a couple things jumped out at me that I thought would be of interest to viewers at home. First off is an FAL. Now, it's not a usual FAL. This particular one is a South African made FAL that's sterile, minus the serial numbers, made for Rhodesia during their Bush War. At the very end, South Africa was supporting Rhodesia against the insurgency that was going on in their country. And one of the things they did was they made FALs that had no markings other than serial numbers. So in theory, they can't be traced back to South African aid for that particular country. It has an L1A1 style bolt carrier, and the folding grenade sight for rifle grenades is missing. There's a distinctive lightning cut here, and also distinctive lightning cuts on the side. Overall, an interesting gun. The United States, very, very rare gun. South African FALs are extremely rare. Here's another one. I'm sure you're looking at this thinking, standard M4. Here's the story behind it. This is a Bushmaster M4 captured in Georgia by Russian forces. It was part of military aid to Georgia, not the state. They had a little scuff up down there and they ended up capturing a bunch of these guns as well as destroying a bunch. There are some Russian special forces that I know of that have used these guns in combat because they prefer the M4 platform over the AK. Very interesting. Obviously, this one is in brand new condition. One of the things I found interesting when we visited the archives in the Central Armed Forces Museum in Moscow, Russia, is they had a captured from Angola actual Rhodesian FAL made in South Africa with sterile markings. I'd only seen them in books, and actually this is a clone of one that I made here in the United States. I found it interesting to see one in the flesh and also one that had been captured from the communist side. Now, the way it all kind of started with the FAL in South Africa is initially FN in Belgium made a run of guns for the South African military, and this happens to be one. It has the South African crest on it and a Type 1 receiver. Now, as the South Africans got their licensing, tools, and equipment to make their own FALs, they put their own little twist on it, and that's how I initially spotted the gun in the archives in Moscow. Now, this particular gun is set up as if it's a Rhodesian clone. It's actually a parts kit minus a receiver from an actual South African FAL that was used in the Rhodesian Bush Wars. It has sterile markings, meaning only a serial number, and it actually has remnants of the camouflage paint used in Rhodesia. The FAL got an excellent reputation in the Bush War in Rhodesia, and when you talk to the vets that use the gun, by and large, from my experience, they only have high marks for it. I just wanted to share with you two really cool FALs that are representative examples of those that were used in South Africa and Rhodesia.